Now joined by the crew chief for the number 22, Paul Wolfe. We'll open it up for questions. Go to Alan.
Speed Sport, congratulations. I know this was such a unique event. You had one shot to make an adjustment, right? Or do something to the car. What was it, if anything, and what's that like as a crew chief?
Well, as we talk about the weekend in general, I think, we had those 3 8-minute sessions yesterday, and the first time we've ever been on a racetrack this small, and then you talk about a new car on top of that. We were learning pretty quick, and we weren't exactly where we needed to be yesterday. But a lot of teamwork and talking through things and amongst our teammates, and we were able to put something together really good today that fortunately we didn't really adjust on it much. I did a small air pressure adjustment at the halfway break, but that was all we did, and that's from our heat race and all. We were obviously pretty pleased with how the car was in the heat race to be able to win that, and Joey just wanted to leave it alone to start the main event today. So today was pretty uneventful and went fairly smooth for us, but that was not the case yesterday.
We'll go Zach, then Jerry.
Zach Sterniola with FrontStretch.com. Paul, I'm curious what, if anything, surprised you this weekend working on the race car, or I know there were some teams that had some mechanical issues throughout the weekend. Did anything catch you guys off guard, whether it was setup-wise, anything like that?
I'll first start by saying, how the racing turned out. Let's just talk about that first, right? I think as guys just working on the race cars, and, obviously we knew this was going to be a great event, and it was, and there was a lot of hype around it, but it was what's the actual product going to be, the competition on the racetrack? How were the cars going to race? Were guys that had better cars going to be able to move forward, or was it just, going to be follow the leader? And, I'm probably a little biased at the moment, but was pleased with the actual on-track competition. And I feel like our car was really good on the long run, and that showed, and we were able to move forward. There was a little contact, obviously, guys would give you the bumper to let you know if they were faster, and but I thought it was the racing product was great. As far as the car itself, I think the biggest thing with this small of a racetrack was I think you saw a lot of guys were having issues with the temperatures in the engine because we just don't get a lot of air movement, and we're still trying to obviously understand how this car is going to work with the temperature piece of it. So we'll be a little smarter and better next time we do an event like this. But that was a little bit of a concern for us. And then I think just evaluating some of the guys that had issues during the race, try to understand what they were. And, and I think we're still early on with this car, obviously, and we're going to continue to learn and hopefully evolve and make it better as we go on. But overall, I think it was a pretty successful weekend for the sport in general.
We'll go to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. Paul, I asked this earlier a little bit about regarding the car. You mentioned there were a lot of guys getting into each other, but we didn't see a bunch of cut tires. We didn't see guys spinning out like we would with the old car. What is it about the steering and the setup, the build of this car that made it so sturdy and raceable, throughout the event?
Well, I think some of the composite body is probably a good part of the not cutting tires down, potentially. We've seen that a lot in the past, and I think as you look at kind of the Xfinity series, with a similar body, I think it's shown to be able to take a little more beating there. So I think that's a big part of why we didn't see that. As far as the guys spinning out, and that's kind of hard to say. That the speeds are so slow. I feel like at a track like this that you can have a little more contact probably and still, the cars still have grip or can stay under control. So I think we'll have to see how that evolves as we get to some of these other racetracks and stuff. But I think the speeds was part of that today. Yep.
We're now joined by today's Busch Light Clash winner, Joey Logano, driver number 22. We'll go with Matt up front.
Matt Weaver, Racing America. I guess this question can apply to both of you guys. But before even getting to today, when you're in the grind and trying to work on the car and get things ready, could you feel the vibe? Could you feel the the tone and the atmosphere of the past couple of days?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, anytime you come to a new venue like this, something new, something we've never done before, and trying to, there's a lot of pressure to try to figure it out, right? And that's, like I spoke earlier about, that we take a lot of pride in, trying to be the team to figure it out first, and all the opportunity that's out there this year. So I definitely felt it. And the way our practice went yesterday, when you're off, getting going, you feel the pressure more and trying to figure it out and trying to get where you need to be. So gives us a lot of confidence moving forward, though, that we have a strong team that was able to do that and put a car on the racetrack today that obviously was very fast and capable of winning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the hype around this. You watch football games lately, and they're advertising the Clash as much as they're advertising Daytona 500. Yeah, that kind of, to me, puts it in perspective a little bit on what this event meant to our sport and how big of a gamble this really was. Right, this could have gone awful. It went great out there, right? I mean, I could kind of, to answer your question, I kind of see the buildup throughout the weekend a little bit. Under the lights last night was something pretty cool. Rolling out to the heat race and seeing the stands starting to fill up, you start to realize that this is going to be a big event. And I had the opportunity to sit in the grandstands and watch the Last Chance races, and to hear everybody yelling and screaming over the race cars. These race cars are loud, and you hear everybody screaming anytime something big was happening on the racetrack, and how intense it was, and the unknown of not knowing what's going to happen. And the race itself, the main event, had some longer runs, had some short runs, had some very intense moments throughout it. I thought that really showed that we can put a race on in a stadium like this. And it being the LA Coliseum, one of the most historical locations we can possibly go to. This makes it pretty special to say we've been able to come here and race, but even better to win in this stadium. Not many people can say they did it. I don't think anyone can say they did it in a race car before, so this is a pretty special one for us.
And then a follow-up. Given how tense the testing of the next-gen car had been over the last 2 months, and you guys had to lock each other in a room in Nashville and try to figure out what direction to go, OD had even said that you guys all had fun. Everyone had fun, and it was important to start this era on the right foot and having fun. So how important is it for you guys as drivers and crew members to start this new era and just have a lot of fun?
Well, I only say I have fun when we win, so we had fun. I'm pretty certain not everybody had fun today. As competitors, we all want to have the trophy. So, this was, this next gen car is the busiest off season I can ever remember having, whether we're testing or not. Just so many variables, so many unknowns. As you try to build a car and be ready for it for the weekend, and you look back, like you said, the meeting in Nashville. I wouldn't say we were all having fun at that point. There's a lot of concerns. There still is concerns. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of what ifs in front of us, but we've proven we can get through this. I'm certain the Daytona 500 is going to go well at the same time. So this is going to be a big move for our sport. And honestly, I think the biggest win we saw today with the car itself is that we can bump and bang and not cut tires down. There's very little cut tires down. And for as much, cars were on each other's doors, think about when we used to do that in Martinsville and give each other a fender rub immediately, right? And then next thing you know, your car's spinning out or, needing to pit because they have flat tires. There's a lot of bumping and banging, and it was okay. And so that says a lot, about the body on the car, but also, the tire and wheel package that we were able to, have really, honestly, full contact without being nervous about cutting tires down.
We'll come up front, then we'll go back to Jerry.
Jack Smith, USC Annenberg Media. Joey, I talked with you earlier this week on Zoom, and you were saying that you were excited to come out here on the West Coast again. Different culture, different people, different atmosphere. So two things. Did it feel different? And were you still outside of winning? Did it live up to your excitement?
Is definitely different. I think they said, I forgot the number, but how many fans came here today that were first-time NASCAR fans?
70%.
70?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's incredible, right? That's nuts. And to know that, that only happened because we came to them, right? We're racing in the city, right? We've never been able to do that. Typically, you got to go 30 minutes, an hour or so out of downtown to put a race on because we need such a huge area. But today proved that, hey, we can race anywhere. And that says a lot about our sport. Like I said, that's the biggest win today for the future of our sport. It's so big. So proud to say that we were able to do that. A lot of hard work from everybody. But like you were saying, just the fans out west are really cool. And being able to, see that, I was able to go out to the Ford stage earlier and talk to the fans there and driver intros and everyone yelling and screaming and chanting USA after the national anthem. That stuff makes me happy.
Thank you.
We'll go to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan kicking the tires. Joey, you're here, so that means there's no baby yet. So, you didn't put her into labor, right?
I told my buddy Coleman, or Spotter Coleman, whatever you want to call him. I told him, I said, if we win this thing and you say Brittany's having a baby, I'm running right off the racetrack straight to the airport. I said, no media for me. I'm out. So, no, baby's still in there, and tomorrow's the big day. So, what a kind of a crazy couple days for the Logano family, getting a win, and then I'll be sleeping in a hospital tomorrow night.
More serious, you are in the record books. You've won the first ever NASCAR clash at the Coliseum. What does that mean to Joey Logano?
This, like I said, of all the clashes, this is probably the biggest clash win you can imagine, right? The first time coming to this historic venue, like I said, and being able to do that together as a team. And also some of the adversity we fought through, what Paul was saying earlier. I mean, we're 26th on the board, and that was me trying really hard to go fast as I can go. So to see, everybody come together, not just the 22 team, but Team Penske in general, and be able to all lean on each other and what we learned from practice, and ultimately put together a really good package to where it qualified well. We were able to win our heat race, keep track position, and be good on the long run, which was a bit surprising to me. I don't know about for you, Paul, but for me, I thought it'd be better on the short haul. So, able to find our strengths and play to them and be able to win it. So, really cool. Our last couple wins have been on some weird racetracks. So I don't know. Bring them on. Bring on the more weird stuff.
We'll go to Alan, then Jeff, then Zach.
Alan Cavana, Speed Sport. For Joey, I got. You don't do this a lot on a quarter-mile bull ring. So what's it like as a driver, knowing that maybe a bump is coming if you're going to get past it? It may be a bump from behind. Are you mirror driving? Are you looking out the front, trying not to worry about that? What is that like?
It's camera driving now. Got the rear view camera. It's camera driving.
What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. And you're coming down to the end of a race on a short track. Doesn't matter who it is. They're gonna lay the bumper to you. And honestly, here is probably the only way to pass. Without laying the bumper, it's kind of tough to make passes. And I did it to Kyle to get around him, so it's coming back. It's only fair. So I assumed that was coming at some point. Was able to stretch it out enough. That last 30 laps there, was able to get a decent lead, and then his car really turned on. They made some good adjustments in between, the halfway break there, and he really turned on and closed the gap. And then the last 5 or 6 laps was able to get far enough ahead to where everything was good. I was looking at those lap cars in front of me. I'm like, oh no, right? Like it's just going to stack them right to me, and then we're going to be in trouble. But was able to kind of get out there as much as I could.
And I know winning is always awesome. Is it any more fun when you beat Kyle Busch?
I just want to win. I don't care who I beat. Doesn't matter.
We'll go to Jeff.
Austin Dillon had said that, maybe part of the attitude from all the drivers being someone enjoying this weekend was because, the non-points race situation, exhibition. He said along those lines that he'd be up for trading maybe some points races for more exhibitions so that, you guys could just go have fun. Could you see a scenario where you would be willing to trade some of the points races on the schedule for exhibitions?
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. It's not a bad idea. You know, you look at the All-Star race, you look at the Clash. There's a little less pressure because the what a loss actually means is less, right? Like we talked about it before. I said, oh, it's all or nothing, right? Who cares about finishing second? I don't like it. It's go for the win or go home. Whereas points events, you know, I mean, think about some of the stuff that was going on in the last chance races and, you know, what was going on there. If that's for points, I think that, you know, probably has some different effects and races will probably be quite a bit different. But, you know, I think everyone was a little bit more relaxed considering it's a 9 points race. I think what we got's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think what we got's all right. You know, the points racing is intense as well, right? I mean, you think about what it means to try to make the playoffs, and then the playoff system we have. I mean, geez, can you ask for anything more? I don't think we can make any more. You know, bring the intensity any higher or more pressure on the race teams. You know, whether it's me or Paul or pit crew, it's do or die a lot out there. So I think we got a good mix.
We'll go to one more question with Zach.
Zach Sterniel with Front Stretch. Joey, I'm curious what kind of things you learned from all of this, because I feel like the consensus coming in was that we weren't really going to learn anything from this race that we could apply to any other race on the circuit, but it feels like during the long green flag runs, it sort of had a Martinsville feel to it, at least visually. Did you get that sense behind the car, and are there things from this weekend that you can apply going forward for the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's things that we can definitely, you know, make better on our race car. You know, we talked about it even some before the race. There's some things that we could probably make better. It's such a unique track. It's hard to say. But I think any time we're on the racetrack with this car, we're learning at this point. Such a new car for all of us. It's underdeveloped at the moment as we're figuring things out pretty quickly. So, you know, it's the same for everyone. Maybe some of the stuff can go towards Martinsville. This place is brand new, right? Brand new asphalt out there. Martinsville is not that. So, you know, you definitely have some different variables that you will have at Martinsville that you don't have here.
Paul, Joey, thanks so much. And
Thank you.
Joey, early congratulations for the big day tomorrow. Hopefully there is a recliner in the room and you don't have to sleep on the flatbed.
I'll
Thanks so
make sure I
much.
get some sleep tonight. Thanks.
Thanks.